All right, people. You guys are tuning in to a new Nomadic Cole video. This, of course, is Nomadic News, ladies and gentlemen. And this is for your information and your entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe for more epic, cool, awesome, funny content just like this one right here, right now on your boy, the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel. You know, on your boy's YouTube channel. You know, so again, be sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and of course, be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Nailed it. Now, guys, we've got some news for y'all today. It's going to be quite interesting to get into. So make sure you guys just sit back, relax, and enjoy, because this is going to be, a heck of a ride today. You know, there's going to be some good news, man, some good news. You feel me? It's going to be good. News. It's going to be good news. It's going to be good. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on. I'm still going to be waiting for my special guest. He should be coming in later. We're looking to go around like 5:30-ish. But before that, I do have some news to give you guys. So, guys, let's look real quick at some WWE news. Guys, this is going to be interesting. All right, guys, some WWE news. Guys, here is the thing. Cody Rhodes, man, he is expected to be a martyr with the WrestleMania switch up. Apparently, Cody has all the fan support right now. Cody Rhodes. You guys have seen my top 5 reasons why Cody Rhodes is cool. And apparently, what they want to do this year is the Roman versus Rock storyline. After Cody Rhodes, I guess he's being replaced in that storyline, and I guess Cody's supposed to fight Seth Rollins, it sounds like. Now, here's a comment from my friend Ruck Fools. He says, "Fuck Boomin' Lames," and I agree. Boomin' Lames is boring. If you don't know who Boomin' Lames is, who we're referring to, it's Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns is not that good, man. He's kind of junk, bro. He's kind of junk. He's overrated. I mean, he's the tribal cheat. You know, he's a tribal cheater. He always cheats. He always has the Usos jump into his match. He's always getting, he's always getting his ass kicked, and then he gets saved by one of the Usos or Solo Sequoia or something now. And it's just, it seems like he's been having the title for so long. I mean, they're trying to get him to like beat Hulk Hogan or something, and it's silly. It's silly. It's stupid. If you ask me, Skip, it's stupid. And I got some water, ladies and gentlemen. How cold is it? It's ice cold, ladies and gentlemen. It's ice cold. Ice cold water. Heard something out there. Nothing out there. Thought I heard something. I didn't hear nothing. But yeah, apparently a lot of people are pissed off about the WrestleMania switch up because people thought that Cody Rhodes was going to fight Roman Reigns, but Cody Rhodes is going to apparently fight Seth Rollins, it seems like. So people are pissed. All right. Drake just DM'd me, my special guest TM Drake, who we're gonna have a fun conversation with later. Just DM'd me, and he said that he's gonna be on in about 15 minutes. So this is gonna be really exciting. This will be really cool. You know, we can't wait to have him on, guys. It's gonna be really interesting. But I do have some more news to give to you before we get in to that fun segment. And let me lead you guys into the next news. And guys, what happened the other day was crazy. There was some crazy windstorms, ladies and gentlemen, that hit California. And these windstorms are brutal. And it is raining heavy over there. Apparently, there's supposed to be some flash flood warnings. So, you know, be safe out there. For one, if you live in California or the California area, be safe out there because it was extremely windy from what I heard and saw. It was extremely windy and a lot of trees and stuff fell down, and it's very rainy, especially in the Southern California, Beverly Hills, Hollywood area. And apparently there's like flash flood warnings and stuff. You know, my heart goes out to all the first responders out there, first of all, you know, trying to keep the people safe. But, you know, some people don't do very smart decisions, and some people, you know, don't just stay inside during these flash flood things, and they try to drive. And I know some people got to get to work, but, you know, they say if you don't know, turn around and don't drown. You know, if you don't think it's safe, turn around and don't drown. You know I have, and I'm sure most bosses would rather you take a day off if it's flash flood warning, and then come back to work, you know, in one piece and not die on the road and never be able to work for them again. That's just from my experience. Now, sometimes you might just have an asshole boss because, you know, everyone has had a dickhead boss. You know, everyone's had an asshole boss who just yells at you all the time. And he's a prick all the time, and it's not very cool. You know what I mean, Skip? It's not very nice. They're not very nice to you. They're very mean to you because they try to, you know, they try to bully their way through you, and that's not cool, you know? But most of the time, I think most bosses, you know, that are good would understand that you got to just turn around and don't drown. So, hopefully our, you know, first responders are safe. Hopefully everybody is safe and inside and not getting too wet out there, because it's a crazy weather, man. Crazy storms knocking over fences and stuff. It's not cool, man. It's crazy. And there's just, you know, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Here's another news report that I have for you guys. And this news report is truly an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. It's an interesting news report. And it is the Vince McMahon situation, guys. It is the Vince McMahon situation. Now, if you don't know who Vince McMahon is the owner of the WWE, right? So, okay, so Vince McMahon is the owner of the WWE. He's a famous man. He's very rich. You know, he's a millionaire. And I believe I've talked about him on the channel. If not, it's a shame that I haven't. But he basically, you know, he built this wrestling company called WWE from the ground up. And it's sad to see him go, but what's going on is that Vince McMahon turns out that he is, I mean, it's not really surprising if you've seen his wrestling character and you've seen the show and how it's been sometimes, but Vince McMahon is a pervert. Vince McMahon was caught doing some naughty things and doing some sexually mischievous things with some girls, and was trying to use girls, you know, to sign guys and keep their contracts up. Like guys like Brock Lesnar were mentioned. You know, Brock Lesnar, the fucking MMA guy, you know, they're mentioned in the case, and apparently girls were used as bargaining tokens for certain contracts, and Brock Lesnar had to testify against Vince McMahon and all that. But it sounds like it is quite the crazy situation, and there's lots of evidence to support that Vince McMahon is kind of grimy. I mean, if you watch some of his program, of course everyone knows that sex sells. Vince Russo said that first, but he's also done scenes where he himself is like kissing girls, and he himself is like, humiliating girls and stuff on TV. And most people would pass that off and say, well, it's just a heel wrestling character, right? It's just a heel wrestling character. And that's what I thought too. Originally, I thought it was just a heel wrestling character. I mean, WWE gives so much to charity. They do all this great stuff. They're a pretty popular company. You'd think this stuff wouldn't, go under the radar, right? You think this type of thing wouldn't go under the radar, but apparently it did go under the radar for a while. And just now, some people are testifying. Vince McMahon is, he sold off WWE, seemingly in a rush with this WWE TKO Nick Khan agreement. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan is also involved in there. The brother of Nick Khan, the long lost brother of Nick Khan. I'm sure he's involved there somehow as well. And I'm sure we'll probably get a merger with AEW announced eventually, but we'll see. We'll see. But it seems like Vince McMahon really left the company in a hurry because he's probably trying to bury this lawsuit, and it blew up in his face, man. He's probably going to have to pay some hefty money, or who knows, man. If he did some really bad stuff, it might just be scratching the surface that he did some really bad stuff, and he could go to jail potentially. Some of these crimes don't sound too good. Some of these crimes don't sound, like very nice things to do to women, if you ask me. And some of them are, downright illegal. I guarantee it. You better believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them are downright illegal. So we're gonna have to see what goes on with the future of the story. But that is something that you guys should keep track of in the future if you guys are interested in the Vince McMahon accusations that have happened recently, which is some pretty interesting news if you ask me. What other news do we have for you guys today? All right, let's do a quick check here. All right, new news, guys. Israel is making progress through the Hamas tunnel systems. Now, I did see the news report update that was released not too long ago about the Israel-Hamas war. Seems like some people want me to talk about that. One sec. Just had to respond to this DM real quick. Anyways, seems like some people wanted me to talk about the Israel-Hamas war. So I might as well. I might again. Seems like the news on it is that must be hold on. I have to answer these text messages real quick. Anyways, here is the thing about the Israel-Hamas war. I'm sorry about being interrupted there. But here's the thing about it. Israel's making some progress through the tunnels, ladies and gentlemen. And it seems like the war is, pretty much about to come to a close for the Hamas terrorists. And it's a pretty it's a pretty dangerous predicament for the Hamas terrorists because they really poked the bear, if you ask me. They really did something that they had no idea what they were getting a part of. When they bombed all those villages and did all those terrible war crimes and killed all those people, they really poked the bear, poking a nuclear nation, going after a nuclear powered nation and trying to fuck around with them. And what did I tell you guys would happen? I told you guys that Israel would be able to take control, whether or not the UN or the United States military got involved. And what is happening? Hamas is slowly being destroyed. And here's some of the facts. Israel's got some humanitarian tunnels going on, to free Palestinian civilians caught in the crossfires. This is a program that's been ongoing that CNN and MSNBC and the dirt sheet media refuse to talk about for no reason. And I think it's kind of disgusting that they don't want to talk about that because they think that everything is warmongering. When in actuality, you're trying to defeat a nation that just bombed 1,400 of your people, and you're trying to liberate a people. That's what's going on in Israel right now. And I hope that eventually there can be some sort of agreement made and that we don't have to see so many killings. But it seems like Israel is really taking UN advice and U.S. advice to to stop the untargeted bombings, at least limit them, and go into more strikes against specific targets and not targets that are schools and shit. But unfortunately, Hamas is going to drag this battle out, and it seems like they're really, 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 really trying to use these human shield tactics. All right, one sec. Just trying to make sure that we get this audio set up because we have to, make sure that everything goes smoothly for this interview. Yeah, general chat, bro. General chat. Just trying to tell my friend TM Drake. Oh. Let me just tell the chat real quick. Oh. All right, there we go. Let me turn off this music real quick, guys. 3, 2, 1. Sorry if you guys were enjoying that. All right, let me screen share real quick. All right, I'm going to... Rexus Prime is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. But let me screen share the Discord. Is that okay? Is that okay, Team Drake? All right, cool. We're gonna screen share this. All right, and guys, I got a new
I'm in a nice
file picture too.
Oh yeah, I'm here in a radio room.
In a radio room.
We got some vintage radios and things. Stuff that actually made America great.
Oh yeah, that is actually really, really cool, man. I actually think some of that's pretty interesting. I have some books or something in the other room about some radios. I might go take a little read up on it. Yeah, some of those old radios are pretty cool, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was used in the military communication throughout the years. This is the office for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, man, you're from the SoCal area, right? You saw the weather.
Southern California.
Yeah.
The weather's been pretty crazy lately, and I came back from Vegas last night in Bakersfield. I don't know, you're getting huge, like Florida gust winds we had a couple of road closures last night before on the I-15 back into town. So
Yeah, man, these winds pushed in some storms, man, and into the into the United States, and a lot of harsh, heavy, powerful winds came in. They knocked down some power lines. There was some rain that came in. Some rain hit the Northern California area, but I think you guys really took the brunt of that cyclone. I think it was right.
I'm not sure what was going on in the weather for cyclones. Obviously, we've had the quake cane not too long ago in the fall, where it's a hurricane earthquake combo.
Yeah,
I happened to be on the can while it shook on my legs, and I'm like, oh wow, must have been a small earthquake.
yeah,
It was comical when that happened.
it's actually
And then we had lots of storms.
yeah,
So yeah, that was exactly what it's like. If we don't get too many earthquakes, we do. They're usually tiny little ones. USGS survey, you could set a rule on their website so it pings your phone
yeah.
when you get something above a certain amount. But it depends on where the epicenter is at and how deep it is in the ground. That's how much motion you get.
Yeah, most of your
And I
earthquakes are
guess
like
we've been having,
the San Francisco area more, right? Mhm.
well, we have fault lines. I'm up in Rancho Palos Verdes area, and we're actually on a big fault line, but that one's been quiet for decades. San Fernando Valley, there's at least five other ones in the area, and one big one, and I think it's San Diego. But these quakes, they usually have a lot of small amount of shifting, so you don't really notice it most of the time, and the epicenter is so far below that these sensors do register a little bit. It's only when you get something big like the 1990s, and structures were built differently back then, so they weren't anticipating a large quake. So that's what happened. Now, right now, California is not anticipating floods, so we've been having a lot of flood warning, and their drainage system mediocre.
Yeah,
Up on the hill, all the crap flows down below, but down below, when you get to like Torrance area, you've got pockets of water. I mean, it's better than looking at all the. I mean, it's going to be pothole hell in the next couple of months. So it takes them about 6 months to fix it. It's like they just finished fixing all the potholes about a month ago, and now we're going to get new potholes
yeah.
because the water erodes underneath the road.
I grew up on an old
So
dirt road, so we always had potholes, and really no one fixed it unless you took a shovel and some gravel and filled them in.
yeah, you probably grew up in that neighborhood where if a tree fell down, everyone comes out to fix the
Oh, yeah,
problem.
exactly.
Because you guys know each other. Yeah, for us, the parking lot, it's like I'm like about ready to bring a bag of gravel because I keep hitting the pothole and just dump a bag of gravel in it so I stop hitting the pothole. Took them about 3 months before finally someone came out and fixed it. And I talked to people who actually have shops there at the shopping center. They go, "Yeah, we've been complaining to the owner for months."
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I don't know what the case is on that, but it just depends on where you're at in the world, I guess. So,
yeah, it just depends on like what kind of neighborhood you live in. I mean, you live in
mhm.
like the Los Angeles area, so it's kind of crazy.
I'm south of Los Angeles. The main area, Los Angeles, aka the Sanctuary City, has a lot of homeless and stuff. We used to have an office over there. It's right by where all the car lots are at. They have multi-story car lots. They sell like Fiats, Toyotas. Ford has a shop there. It used to be a big Scion dealership there, but I think they moved or they went under or something because they was sold to something else. But we moved out of that area. My office is actually in Bell Gardens now, which is the east side of things. And 2016 is a pretty quiet neighborhood, but now it seems to be picking up like a city too. So our demographics is changing with a lot more people. And I don't know how many people say that a lot of people moved out of California. They're right and they're wrong. They're right because the census shows that people have moved out of California, but for the amount of traffic I'm seeing with or without constructions and roads being heavily used, I would say probably about 10 million people moved back in from somewhere else. It's easy to tell.
Wow.
So, and they don't shop the same stores as the locals that used to be here. Most of the people who lived here for years try to stay at the smaller stores, not the mainstream stores. They go there for better prices. I am actually seeing a lot change in shopping too as well. So we have a big mall up in Torrance. We have um yeah, we have a Del Amo Mall in Torrance. That's one of the largest mall from what I was told. I didn't know it grew in the last decade. So and then we also have a that's usually pretty busy now. My area has gotten pretty busy. I'm up on the hill, so we're kind of mediocre, but we're starting to see a little more traffic.
Yeah,
They are doing a lot more housing developments, a couple of thousand
I've
homes being
I've
built.
heard about those housing
So
developments. They're about to like in some of my family members' neighborhoods, they're about to move some like low income housing that they're really angry about. That's going to bring down like the value of all the houses, and it's going to bring in a lot of troublemakers and illegal immigrants, homeless people in the
we
mix.
we had that back then called a group called the Projects Housing. I never knew about this, but it was government subsidized housing.
Oh yeah,
And they did claim yes and no. Yes was there could be an increase of more crime. No, and the fact is I have delivered Uber delivered to a few of those housing, and they've got credit cards and they've got cash, but they're just living in a lower quality house, if you want to call it that way. Now, the corporate America did start another low quality house living to get you started. It's called mobile home and modular home. That was actually where it started from, but I never realized that some people start from there, and then they, of course, they buy bigger houses, upgrade here and there, like anyone else. You want to improve your life. But whenever the government gets involved, you're literally at a standstill.
yeah.
You can't find a balance whenever they get involved. So yeah, it's they've tried a few times and some things worked. The best one was 2012 when there was a bunch of homeless people, but they got them to do some work like clean the streets up and take care of their own
Always
home. So
some stuff.
things were a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that, but it's changed a lot now where you just have some people that just simply don't care. I mean, they go into a public restaurant to the point where they don't even want to have public bathrooms for that reason. So,
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
Gavin Newsom's his rules haven't really helped you guys much either. Hmm.
Didn't really help a lot of us. Most of us are pretty much defending on our own. If you're a small business or you're business, even the people who came here from other countries to build a business, I have a few friends with that nature. I shouldn't say that they're struggling, but at the same time, you have this game you have to play because you have to keep one group of people happy without taking off the other group. So
Exactly.
and like there's a whole bunch of businesses on the street here, and some of them are doing okay, some are online businesses, some have retired due to the lockdown. So we're seeing some come and go. I mean, we lost another electronics store last fall. It was all electronics. It was well known for years. So we're down to like one or two electronic stores in the area now. So some of our suppliers are disappearing, but the from that's what I've been being here. A lot of small businesses trying to have business rentals are struggling. But what's odd is that the housing market is, I'm not quite sure in California if they're still building apartments. That means that it's still doing good. Otherwise, why would you be building buildings? They've actually tore down a few business areas to build apartment complexes. So
Uh,
that's been changing. So I don't know what's going on, but it is changing. So.
so, are you guys seeing an influx of illegal immigrants with the whole border crisis that's going on right now?
From what I can tell, California is wide open. It always has been. From time to time, I've seen a few ICE vehicles, even though people have posted and spray painted no ICE on the freeway because there's a good amount of people that hate that great community. But I have seen them roll through the neighborhood from time to time. As far as influx goes, you can't tell. It's so blended in, but you can definitely tell the demographics is changing because it seems like English is a second language. From what I'm understanding, it's not like they can't speak English because from what I'm hearing, in order to be part of the global economy, you have to speak English, at least for the last 5 or 10 years. So everyone who's coming in already knows how to speak English.
Yeah.
Do they? No. They don't want to speak English. Even when I'm at like a Starbucks getting a coffee and I saw them ring up $15 for three people, so I go ring up a coffee and it's like almost $10 and I know what all the extras charge and they wouldn't even let me use my own card. And I'm like, okay, so I'm sure that between you and the five other people waiting in line, you guys have a private talk that didn't include me.
Hmm. Well, yeah, they'll try to get
Otherwise, I
their
would have
family
asked.
members or something, some discounts a
So
lot of times. Definitely news.
yeah, sometimes they have the extended family discount. That's kind of how I kind of should have seen that back in 2014 when I did graduation with ITT, and one of the students in my class, I don't know how she managed to fill the auditorium. Just one person managed to bring like 50 plus people into the auditorium. Most of us only brought 3 or 4 people.
Wow, that's impressive.
Maybe our family member and uncle. So it brought like 50, 60, filled the auditorium with their extended family.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. So, what is
So
your take? Are you with Texas 100%? I would assume because you do always.
I am definitely with Texas. Texas is definitely doing the right thing right now, putting up barbed wires because no one else is helping them. I've said the last time they've reported was an average of 6 a day now, and crime is kind of starting to cease because there's a lot of communities that do live down there too. I have a friend of mine that lives in Brownsville, but he says it's been quiet over there. So Brownsville, I think it's Brownsville, Texas, is right by the border, the
Yeah,
corner of Yuma because Yuma is pretty packed now. I've last time I've been to Yuma was way back in like 2012, and it was a quiet
there's
city.
some
So
places they're talking
compared to now,
Eagles Pass as well. Eagles Pass. Mhm.
that place right there has, from what I'm hearing, it's quiet down. But I did not get to check what the convoy reported because they had an event on either Saturday in San Diego, but I was out of town, so didn't catch up on it.
Yeah,
But it was, I will say, even at Vegas, right there, the language of English is barely heard. I mean, you see people watching shows. There's a lot of shows going on. That's good. That means the entertainment business is rocking.
yeah.
But then I go and check the stores and things, but everything is starting to change as
Oh, it's
always.
been like the new Spanish language stuff up, I'm guessing.
They didn't put as much of that up. Not like California. They have to seem to be putting signs in 2 languages now. Um, but I'm not quite sure. It's like we have ballots in 17 languages, so I'm not sure why would you have a ballot in 17 languages, including Farsi. I'm like, okay. They've already given us our ballots, by the way, our sample ballots. I said I got some information on it, so I'm trying to figure out, is the official election supposed to be in fall? So I don't know if they're going to do the mail everyone the ballot trick again.
I know recently there's been some HOA elections and stuff going around, of course, and some local stuff, but I haven't heard much about anything major recently. And all I would know is for the state I'm registered to vote in.
Yeah, they've been changing some stuff around here. So they mailed out all the sample ballots like a week before they did any of the I shouldn't say the debates, the RNC debates, as well as the they call it the other primaries, but the other states where people drop out, depending on it. Like Vivek dropped out
Right.
a few weeks back, so they mailed all the stuff out before. So just to confuse you anymore, the entire list of candidate is super long, even though it's only like maybe 3 of them out of 14. So they do this on purpose, but only on the Republican candidates, not on Democratic candidates. They made sure of that.
It's only Joe
So
Biden
that way you choose the wrong
for the
one.
Democrats, right?
I think there's like two, if I
Dean
remember, two or
Phillips as
three, but
well,
I have to
and
look in the
I know there's
sample ballot.
Brianne Williams.
I think he was,
Yeah.
but I don't remember if they dropped out yet.
Here's
So,
here's
because I
what
haven't
I
heard
know about the Phillips
their committee.
campaign because I did check in on his campaign today. And here's the thing: he was expected. Well, I want to say he was expected, but he was hopeful to go into the New Hampshire primary because Joe Biden was a write-in. He was hopeful that maybe he might win the popular vote or something.
You know what?
He bombed. What happened is
So they want him to do a write-in.
2,000 write-ins.
That's funny because
Buy it all. I
that's what someone was saying, that if they kept Trump off the ballot, we'll be doing write-ins.
Yeah. And I don't think Biden actually got 60,000 write-ins. I think that since they already rigged the primary for Biden and they aren't scared to say otherwise, they're literally open about saying, hey, we rigged the primary. And what are you going to do about it? That's why Bobby Kennedy left. I think Dean Phillips would be better off right now just jumping on Kennedy's momentum as like some sort of cabinet member if he wants anything. At least it would be something
Oh,
for him, and they have similar values in some ways. But yeah, I
yeah,
don't think
they do.
Phillips is gonna do well, unfortunately, just because I mean it's not it's the Democrats don't want it to be fair. They have their guys.
Nope.
Yeah, they have their guys.
Do as I say, don't do as I do, as we say.
They're
Rules for thee,
trying to
not for
use
me.
Nikki Haley. They're trying to use Nikki Haley to take down Trump, but it's like it's not working because what Republicans are voting for Nikki Haley other than a few disenfranchised? I mean, most of the disenfranchised Republicans, like myself, just went on the RFK campaign or are saying they're not going to vote at all or are just going to vote for Donald Trump and tap out.
Yeah, and I'm trying to follow up on DeSantis because he's getting a little bit more tougher now that's in Florida. He's been pushing some stuff around
Well, he's trying to
because
go back
he gets
and
to see everything from the
try
big
to
picture.
he's trying to go back and fix his reputation as a governor because his presidential campaign just
Yeah, he wasn't very strong during the campaign. He was too weak during the campaign. But give him a few more years, he'll learn
yeah.
because he's still best in Florida, I
I think he
think.
could be a lot stronger in a different year, just in a year he's not running against Trump, probably. Like 2028 will
Plus, Florida has a lot of their disasters too, so he's pretty good at taking control of the
well,
disasters.
100%. I saw
So,
what he did during the hurricanes over there. Yeah, I
uh-huh.
agree with you, not Dexter, TM Drake. My bad. I always have Dexter on the podcast. That's why. But you know, but I agree with you. I think that that I support Texas as well. I mean, pretty much everybody with a brain supports Texas in defending the border. So, you know, go Texas. Hopefully things work out. And it sounds like they're trying to work.
Well, we hope that the
Mhm.
federal doesn't federalize the what's it called, the military or something else they're trying to send down there, because and they're also trying to change it on the bill. If you saw it, they're actually trying to add rules in that omnibus bill that includes the fact that if you do something like Texas, you will lose this, this, and this. They're trying to make it more law.
Yeah,
If you read the fine print of it.
this is why Republicans, I think all of them should vote no on this bill, or if you're not going to vote no, vote present, because this is a bad bill. This is obviously a bill that's rigged towards the Democrat Party, and it's actually,
Well, they made it. They try to
if
advertise it,
anything,
but
it's
it is
rigged against
rigged.
the people.
Yes.
It's rigged against the people, and like any thinking Democrat should vote no as well.
Well, it removes your
Yeah.
freedom down to the state level because it's supposed to give more power to the state level. This actually is trying to pass a law to take it
Trying to
away,
usurp the
and that's
power
the problem.
of the state because you're supposed to have the federal. I think the higher government is supposed to have less power than the state, and then the local government has more power, and then the individual has more power than the local government.
That's correct.
But what they're trying to do
One
is
vote,
change
one
the
voice.
constitution to make it so that way we're living more of a federal republic than we are a state republic. And they're trying to call they're trying to treat Greg Abbott like the Confederate States of America, which is a completely different thing completely. They're fighting over they're fighting over states' rights, but it's a completely different states' rights.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's actually where we're at right now, and we're at this minor standoff that we're going to see what's happened. Hopefully we don't break into a civil war, but it's getting really close to it. There's been some talk of the Cal exit or Tex exit now. In order to break away from the Union, you have to have 2/3 of the state's vote and representatives, if I recalled correctly.
Yeah.
And right now, the only California and New York makes up maybe 1/3. So this is what we're going to see,
Well,
and
I've
unless we make it to the next election.
25 of the U.S. states are already supporting Texas. I mean, even Illinois is showing strong support of all places for Texas. So yeah, I mean, everybody is
Well, that's
illegal.
because Texas wants to defend our sovereignty as a nation. Otherwise, we won't have a nation anymore. I mean, heck, if English is no longer a language, what am I doing speaking? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
you get the idea. Even though it became the international language, don't get me
Country
wrong.
at all, man. If you
So,
don't have a border, you don't have a country. And I think it actually blows leftists' minds when they ask, well, how are the illegals going to get in? It's called you don't have illegal immigration. You just bring all illegal immigration down to zero and have them legally immigrate. It only costs about $35 to legally immigrate, by the way.
to start off with, and if you actually get a job at a major company like the one I work for, we will actually set you up kindly. We're more than happy to even help you get a house and everything. We've actually have an entire family of people from all over the world that's been with us for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
See? So, and they love it. They love it here. So, but you got to do it the right way.
Yeah, gotta do it. Gotta get your papers. Gotta get your green card. Gotta get everything, man. Like, I think if you're coming in
Yep.
illegally, I mean, pretty obviously you're criminal. You heard they have a TikTok now. Chinese TikTok is teaching Chinese immigrants how to break into the border from Mexico. It's crazy.
Oh, the water's not that deep, I heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really ludicrous to even think it's that easy. And at one point in time, back in 2012 to 2010 era, if I recalled correctly, you had trouble getting a job, and because of that, you could have a credit issue. Because I remember 2008's economy crash we had, and if I remember correctly, the housing market due to predatory lending. So, in other words, if you had a temporary ID and you can be responsible for paying off, don't get me wrong, it costs money to pay something off. You promise you're going to pay someone for a house so you can live there, work, and whatever.
Right.
All of a sudden, you jump the border and disappeared. How are you accountable? We can't find you.
Yeah.
See?
Like that's another thing as
Now,
well. Like you just when you have illegal immigrants, it's you're asking to bring in so much crime and so many sketchy people. And yes, a lot of them are working, and there's some people that are seeking asylum, but there's right ways to do that and wrong ways to do that. And we're heading a direction that's the wrong way to do that, where we're not being, we're not saying, hey, you entered illegally, you're a criminal, you need to get out. We're saying, oh, come in, come in, come in. Here, I'm going to put you on a bus to any city in the country you want.
yes, and it's costing people like us taxpayers, which generally do work a day job and everything else, and we're looking at how much our pay is going, yet we don't have any, our crime is going up. People are breaking in, people are just driving like, I guess they're drunk, I don't know, but running over the curve and hitting a sign about once a week to once a month, breaking into my office in Bell Gardens about once, I think about once to twice a
Yeah,
month we
I've seen
get, and now that I've been
some
staying there late
crazy
and
cracking
driving by, I don't
fights,
think we've had any
man.
incidents.
Seen some crazy cracking
Yeah.
fights.
I gotta actually find out if our office has on a gated side, might actually have a side entrance that's not locked, because I went to dinner and someone ticked off the alarm and it pinged me, letting me know that one of the front doors was cracked open. So I don't know, it could be a bad sensor. But yeah, we've been having a lot of weird stuff happening, but only in the LA warehouse, not in the other warehouses that we had. So,
It's only
I mean, not LA, Bell Gardens. So, that area.
yeah. It's not as bad as LA.
Well, LA, we had our issues, but because there was only one entrance way to the building and they were behind roll-up doors, we can usually secure the place down. And when you're on the fourth floor, you've got sniper's view, so
Yeah.
you got the best vantage point.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just know LA is like not doing too well because of Skid Row and all that. Like all them.
that's actually not too far away from my old LA
Oh
office,
yeah,
and I've been through that area. It's right by where all the district offices are.
sad.
But yeah, that's
By the veterans,
LA.
the Office of Veterans
They need to do a
Affairs
little
as
better.
well down there.
I believe they're up there too, because I used to see some of the veteran places, but I haven't been to any of them in a while. So since all this stuff,
I think
it's at least
here's a take that I have. If I were the president, I would have our homeless guys. I would not do illegal immigrants for agriculture, but I would try to bring in our homeless guys and homeless veterans and try to get them jobs in agriculture, because those are the people who need the jobs, and those are the people that can legally get them for a legal price and can have legal, work rights as well. And the companies don't want to hire them because they know they can swindle the, illegal immigrants, especially those that don't speak English, because they just make them sign English contracts. But they also,
that is one thing I've
they
heard
should.
too. But I've also noticed that some of these people do get paid quite a bit in the contracting industry.
Some of
So
them.
don't
I've
get that wrong.
the construction industry is a little bit more popular. Um, for the illegal immigrants now, not as popular as the agriculture industries as much. And I've seen a lot of
Hmm.
them, like some of our lawnmowers and landscaping is probably one of the best ones if you're an illegal immigrant to get into, because ain't nobody gonna track down $140 that you paid to mow someone's lawn, you know?
140, about 500 here.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it's really 140. It may be different from where you're at from state to state, but I've now learned a lot about this type of approach because different people value things differently. And I've heard stories and I've seen people that try to do offers, and some of these people they look at you and even though you don't speak their language, they'll throw a large number at you, and then you do research. They says, "Wait, that's the high end of the price." I mean, so some people actually learn to play the game. If someone is desperate for work, they'll
I
yeah.
definitely
So you have to kind of play the
say
game a
it's
little
not.
bit better
It's
now.
definitely an individual thing because different individuals are going to do
Hmm.
different things, and some people are smarter than others. Not all illegal immigrants are going to be the same, but from what I've seen personally, is that the agriculture industry liked to take advantage of a lot of illegal immigrants. That's
Yeah. Well, if you got nothing else.
yeah,
It's called contract work, and contract work is the only one that has kind of a ups and downs to that on what you can do. But once you go in the other direction, like we did, we have a lot of visas and H-1B ones. Now we have to do minimum wage, payroll, and all the other stuff. But that's because you have a huge workforce. You can do that. Contract work, you can't really do that easily. So it's usually just written off as contract.
yeah,
Unless the other person actually does have a business and somehow manage to set up a website and all that other cool stuff we have.
yeah. I've actually been doing a lot of realization, and that I think I think that we should still keep around cash because I think cash they're trying to kill it off right now. And I think that in the future you're going to see when the UN finally decides that cash is no longer valuable and that it's all online, that you're going to see the actual, like, having an
Yeah,
actual
that's
dollar
the
bill is actually going to be worth something, especially in some sort of disaster situation.
well, that's the central bank digital
Yeah.
currency, but the reason why cash has its problem is due to the inflation. For some reason, our current powers that be thinks that you can just print money and hopefully fix the economy that way, which it doesn't work that way because just like if you make too much of the same product, the value of it goes down. Now, if you make the product better, let's say if the dollar could mean something better, you know, means to earn a dollar, earn $100 bill, your first $100 bill. That actually promotes that it's good to actually make money
Yeah.
and not just steal it, to actually provide something back into the economy, and you get something in return that you can have the freedom to just choose what you want to do with it. See?
Right.
See, if you do it electronically, you're right. The bank now has control over all this and they can see your ins and outs. Now, from a business perspective, we like electronic because we want to know if you're
Yeah.
overspending on junk, but we track those, see?
Especially if it's
So,
employees. But if you're like me,
yeah,
who just
because people do
like
spend stuff
like a mom and
that
pop
they probably
farmers
don't
market,
need.
then I'm perfectly fine with just cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was great. It was great having you on the show, man. It's glad to hear some of your insight on some things, man.
All right. Well, I will chat with you again some other times. Good being on your show.
All right, man. You have a good one. And this is TM Drake. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, guys. Again, his name is TM Drake. He's a very good YouTuber. Be sure you guys leave a like, share, and subscribe to him as well. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Heck yeah.
All right. And I just got a message from my friend Rexus Prime up here in the chat. I haven't read the chat, so I'm going to read some of the chats before I go. All right. So we got Rexus Prime who said, quote, Trump just backpedaled on his promise to end the war in Ukraine. I got news from Jimmy Dore, one of the few sources I actually trust, and Jimmy Dore doesn't have Trump derangement syndrome or TDS. Yeah, this is why I really this is on, like, I told people that Trump, like, I think he was great when he came in. I think he was saying the right things, and I think he still does have some great points. But I think you're going to see the real Donald Trump. And if you do your research and you see that he is a New York City billionaire business tycoon who's friends with Kenneth Copeland, who's friends with BP Oil, who's friends with Exxon, and he might not be the greatest thing since sliced bread. He might not be the populist savior to the masses. And that's why I jumped on the RFK Jr. campaign, because I thought that, I did my research and I thought, I think this guy matches my values a lot better. The next comment from Rexus Prime here says, this is to pro-federalists. I'd rather be pro-constitution than pro-government, so I'm with Texas in this situation. I agree, man. I am 100% with Texas. RFK Jr.'s with Texas. He says, if you ask me, fuck the election. I mean, I think this is going to be an extremely important election, and that if the people are going to actually vote for some actual change, I think the best way to do that is if the people would unite behind a different candidate than either Trump or Biden, because I would rather have some other one, something else. I don't want a rematch from 2020 where Donald Trump failed to take out Biden because whatever reason, and whether they decide to use some sort of insurrectionist vague terminology or whatever, or decide to, try to take Donald Trump out of office or whatever. I think no matter what you're going to get, you're going to have one side of the country constantly mad at the other side for the next 4 years, like every single 4 years that we have every single time. And unless you vote for third-party candidates or somebody different, and unless the actual people of America, smarten up and decide to do that, we're not going to see change. That's just my opinion on it. And that's pretty much my take on the upcoming election. And yeah, that's pretty much just about all we had in store for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and of course subscribe for more just like this, right here, right now, on the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel. Be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.